Okay, welcome to this edition of the Taking Off podcast. We are literally taking off. We're in the plane at altitude cruising, flight following. I've got JustPlaneSilly's Brian Turner and the true source of his comedic genius, Aaron Turner, on this episode. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we have just left Sun and Fun. This is actually the second time I'm recording this podcast because something happened to the audio. And you're going to hear air traffic control in the background, so hopefully it won't be too distracting. I've turned it down a little bit. We're just listening for our call sign. We are traveling up the Florida Peninsula and on our way home. So, Brian, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And, yeah, I don't want you to leave during this podcast.
No, I'm going to stick through the whole thing.
Yeah, and Aaron.
Same.
Yeah, so, okay. We've already done this podcast. We've already spent days together. You're probably really tired of me. But here we are recording the podcast again. And first of all, audio trouble. Brian, how much of a heartbreaker is having audio trouble like I've had where I didn't get the audio for the podcast?
After doing this for a handful of years, I probably have 4 sources of audio. Like you and I both recorded audio on the inbound, and we both lost audio on the inbound.
Yeah, so even if you have
2 sources, each person needs at least 2 sources is what I'm learning. So
right now we only have 3 sources of audio recording.
Yeah. So yeah, that's honestly,
cross your fingers.
That'll kill a video. Like if the audio doesn't come out, delete the video.
I had a video one time that I recorded where I was taking a guest, a guy, one of the executives with Mark Cuban.
Oh, really?
And he was in the plane. He wanted to do a $100 hamburger, win Sulphur Springs. It was hard IMC, almost the minimums. I'm recording. It's great. I get a hold. Only the second time ever in my IFR experience, I was given a hold.
Okay.
That was awesome. Then released. Come in. We break out just above minimums. It's beautiful. It's right there. I land.
Full Marcel.
No audio.
No audio.
And really, the video's useless at that time.
It is.
But we were just flying in the clouds. You don't know anything. It's just like, holy cow. That one was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, so now we've got 3 sources of audio, which hopefully one of them will survive.
Yeah. Okay. So, we flew to Sun and Fun together, the 3 of us.
Yeah.
And we've learned a lot of things. We've learned that really it's Aaron that has all the good ideas.
She's the brains behind the operation. I'm just beautiful, so I get in front of the camera and look good.
You look good.
That's really what
how
it
works.
That's how it works. So she comes up with all these great ideas, and she's like, Brian, here's what you're going to say. Here's the joke. Here's your business cards. It's all back there. My job is to look pretty and seem really, really polished on camera.
Yeah, because I remember you texted me when you, after the whole Red Bull land on the hotel pad in wherever it was, UAE, and Dubai.
Yeah.
And you texted me about landing on Bob's Big Boys, the hamburger. I thought that was brilliant.
Wasn't it
that was like
Such a
the
good idea.
best idea ever.
Brilliant.
It was a genius idea. And if you ask me where the ideas come from, and it's like, I don't know. You know, they just pop in my head. You know, it seems like I was sitting at a restaurant and it just entered my head somehow that I should land on the statue.
I think it entered your head. How did it enter his head, Aaron?
Well, if I remember
through
correctly.
his ears.
No,
yes, we had gone out and we were talking about that video.
Hold on.
27.8, have a good day, sir.
27.8, Tuesday Yankee. There we go. There's the...
That's the best part of this podcast.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah. I didn't even catch the center name, but...
Jacksonville Center, Mooney,
Oh,
232
Jacksonville
Tango.
Center. All right.
232 Tango, go ahead.
All right.
Jacksonville Mooney, 232 Tango is about...
well, it's going to be a minute before we check in now.
Kilo Charlie Tango Yankee at 10,500.
So for everybody listening,
Kilo Echo Tango.
we've got a lot of traffic leaving Sun and Fun. It's Sunday, last day of Sun and Fun.
Yeah.
6722.
It's a hornet's nest up there.
Jack Center, Centurion 4620, Yankee 6500.
4620 Yankee Jack Center, the cross city is number 3010.
10, thank you. All right, now we can turn that down a little bit. I don't anticipate them calling out unless they got traffic, and I'm also watching for traffic not only on ADS-B, but I'm looking out the window as well as we talk.
I'm scanning over here.
And actually, we have somebody 144 knots behind us, same altitude.
Traffic, 11 o'clock, 5 miles northwestbound, altitude indicates 4,500, type unknown, turn 10 degrees left.
Okay, so they're going to overtake us, but anyway. Okay, we're keeping an eye out. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Aaron, you continue how you came up with the idea.
Well, so we were discussing the Red Bull landing, and Brian had, he likes to spoof these things, so he's like, I'm going to make a video landing like on a Motel 6 or something.
Boring.
Yeah. And I said, it would be really funny is if you did one landing on the big boy, on the burger, and he's like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, that's what I've got to do. And like, he and I both immediately started like looking for a big boy statue, there's still some big boys around, and so he reached out to a friend, and started, at the restaurant trying to plan out this video. And, I don't look for praise or credit, but then in the video, at the end, when he took the last minute or so of the video to thank everybody,
including the dog.
Include all 3 of the dogs.
That was
by name.
My crew. They helped me with some studies.
Yes. I was like, oh, this is sweet. He's gonna, I'm gonna get credit for literally being the idea behind this video.
The most important part.
Well, it couldn't have happened without me, is all I'm saying. And yet, my name was left off.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Aaron for giving me that idea.
Yeah, I was like, you just wanted to wait until we, by chance, might have been on a podcast that Dan was hosting.
Yeah, the second round of the podcast.
Well, because my channel is twice as big as yours,
that's right.
So
That's true.
she gets twice as big a thing.
That's what I'm trying to be like twice as much credit for that idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how I roll.
Now I see how it is, so you're welcome.
Brian, your favorite things are when people come up to you and say, hey, I've got a great idea for you.
Yeah, it makes me sad when people, I got 3 of those this week at Sun and Time.
And I'm being, for those that can't see my face, I'm being sarcastic. Brian, you hate that.
Yeah, due to the nature of my channel, people like to give me ideas, and some of them are really funny, but the thing is like, if it's not me, if it's not my style, if it doesn't feel like me, then I'm not going to do it. I really don't like when people give me ideas, partially because, just one, I'm not going to do it, and 2, I'm a people pleaser, so I don't like telling people no. But even if you go to my YouTube channel and go to the About section, the paragraph there is, I appreciate it if you have an idea for me, but I'm not going to do it. There was one incident in the past where I did something someone asked me to do, and then their employer was an airline. They're like, you know what, on second thought, I think we should probably take this down. And I'd already gotten a sponsor, for the, right. So it's kind of like, if I do something and someone pays me money or does whatever other things that are attached to a video, and then they say pull it down, now I'm kind of on the hook for some stuff. So it just, if you have an idea, that's great. If you can find a way to make it happen, but I'm really, really unlikely to do an idea, and it's pretty consistent with people giving me ideas anyway. But so I'll apologize, but it's very, very unlikely I would do it.
Stand by. No, that's not us. I heard 2-0.
Oh, I heard Centurion, so I thought maybe it was.
Somebody else answered, so okay. Brian, the other thing that maybe people don't know about you is that you are an incredible extrovert.
This is the biggest crowd I'm willing to play to.
We got 3 people in the plane total, including himself. So what do you feel inside if I were to say, okay, Brian, in 3 minutes you're going live at the stand-up comedy club?
Clear prop. I'm going somewhere else. No, it's not my thing. The YouTube is perfect for me. I like the idea of being creative and putting creative stuff out there, but I have no interest in immediate feedback. I don't even like small social situations. I really am very, very selective with my small group of friends. I don't, I've always said my kryptonite is if Aaron were ever to say, hey, we're going to go to a party at my work and throw in something like, I know you don't know anybody, but Betty's husband's a pilot too. I'm like, no.
Aaron, is this true?
Absolutely true.
So, yeah, tell us
It
about
just
that.
has to be on his terms. Like last night, he wanted to go out and meet with some people, you know, after Sun and Fun, and so that was on his terms. He felt comfortable doing it, but yes, if...
And it was people he knew.
Correct. But like the neighbors that live behind us 3 years in a row invited us to their Halloween party, and he's like, absolutely not. Like, I'm like, literally, we just walk behind us. But he's like, if I, one, it's people he doesn't know well. Two, he would be expected to wear a costume. God forbid. I mean,
he's got so many.
He'll put on a giant elf costume.
That's what I'm saying.
But again, that's his call. And so, like, that was a flat no. We never went to their Halloween party, and they no longer invite us.
Perfect, which is perfect.
Wow. Okay, so, but with people you know, you're good. So if I... New scenario.
Okay.
In 3 minutes, you're going to do stand-up to a room full of pilots' friends that you know.
No, I don't want to speak. I don't want to speak in front of anybody.
Yes.
I don't do. Like, she'll even tell you. Last night we were looking for this place, and one person had texted. Two people had texted me and said they were there. Neither of them were there, and so I got there and I'm like, I told Aaron, I go, I'm looking for my anchors, which are people that I know that I can go attach to. And so, you know, Martin Polly was supposed to be there. Sean, the fire pilot, was supposed to be there. Both of them were doing what I do, which is being like, yeah, I'm there. And they were 30 minutes out. And so I get there, and I'm like, okay. I told Aaron, I go, let's just have a beer, and then we'll just go home. And then I saw Sean. I was like, okay, Sean. So, hey, what's going on? And then he's like, I'm going to grab some food, and I'll be back. And I was like, I don't want to just stand here in front of 30 people, like, awkwardly. And I don't want to go meet any of them.
Where somebody comes up, Brian Turner, be fun, say something funny.
It doesn't bother me if they come up to me. If they say be funny or give me an idea, it bothers me. But if people come up to me, I enjoy it. But then we saw Dirtbag Pilot, TikTok guy. So I started seeing people, and then Baron Pilot and Kim showed up, and then Martin Polly showed up, and then I was very comfortable because I call them my anchors, but it's sort of like, this is my home base in this crowd of people. I have to have that or I'm not sticking around. I don't know why. It's just anxiety.
All right. A year ago, I went to Sun and Fun for the first time, and you reached out to me, and you said, hey, scout it out. Tell me if it's worth going. My response was it was not.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to go again. And
I said, so let's just cross that off our list.
And then all of a sudden I realized we're on our way here 2 days ago, and I recalled that conversation. I don't know why.
I don't know how we got here. I did.
Nothing against Sun and Fun.
No.
It's good. For me, I didn't know why.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Sun and Fun? Or no, let me ask. Aaron, what did you think of Sun and Fun?
I enjoyed it. I do. It's a lot of travel for one day, and I know it lasts all week, but I do feel like we did it all yesterday, so I'm not sad that we're not going back today. It is, I heard everything from its half the size of Osh to its 1/10 the size of Osh, and I would say it's probably a quarter the size.
Yeah.
If I remember how big Oshkosh was crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm glad we came, but if next year when y'all say you're going again.
No, we're not going.
Right. I might just stay home.
Okay. So my take on it was, it's the state fair. It's an aviation-themed state fair with the Oshkosh Air Show.
Oh, that's
so,
good.
I mean, they had the Blue Angels. They had the F-35, the F-22. They had these amazing planes that just shake you to your core. The fireworks were incredible. The big explosions were very Oshkosh. But whereas it takes you 3 or 4 days to hit, Oshkosh is like New York City. You can't do it in a day. And you're okay. Today we're going to do Warbirds. Then we're going to go do these exhibits. Then we're going to go do this thing. Here, by noon we'd kind of seen everything, and then it was like, well, let's wait for the air show. What I was telling her last night was, Sun and Fun wasn't great to me, but this entire trip was cool. Flying out there with you was fun. The snowing in the plane, like so many things happened that are neat memories. This crazy departure this morning, so the entire package was absolutely worth it, and I've enjoyed this whole journey. Sun and Fun alone, I don't know that the socializing last night was fantastic. I really enjoyed that, but is it worth a couple $1,000s in expenses to do that for one night? Probably not. So I would say if you've never been, go, and if you're not one who has gone to Oshkosh, you probably really enjoy Sun and Fun. But I have to compare it to something. And it's like I went to the big leagues first, and this is kind of the minor league, so it's like, well, and I knew that going in, but so it's not something. It's something. Maybe I'll go back, but it's not going to be like Oshkosh where I'm going every year, and I'm like. The day I got home.
Traffic overtaking you at your 8 o'clock, 4 miles, northwestbound altitude indicates 6,600, type unknown.
We'll be looking for it. Thanks, 20 Yankee.
20 Yankee, they're at the same altitude as you at this time. You need to
let's go down.
Climb or descend.
I'd rather go up. Okay, we're going to go up momentarily 1,000 feet for the crossover, and we're also going, now we're direct 5-4 Juliet.
And 20 Yankee, Roger. Also additional traffic, 1 o'clock, 2 miles, southeastbound 7,000, a Sirius.
Oh, that's the one I'm looking at.
Okay, and we're looking for, I got him in sight.
No factor.
Okay, let's go up at that.
Sorry, okay.
7,500.
3 going to 35 base, thanks.
I'd rather go, because we're about to go over the ocean, I didn't want to...
Well, so I saw he was 500 feet above us. I was looking at the wrong one.
Oh,
so I was like, why would we climb when he's 500 feet above
because
us?
Because he's overtaking.
Passing traffic, 3 o'clock, 1 mile, northwestbound.
I'm surprised he's not talking to him.
210, VFR 697 is climbing.
Inside and past him to Gulf Dome.
Yeah, we're done with that traffic. Now, because we're climbing, let's go ahead and ridge a little bit.
Juliet. Well, you'll advise when we can pick up having direct.
And let's go to 2450 on the RPM. All right, podcast audience, you get some aviation here. And you were talking about the aviation, Brian, you were talking about the aviation adventures. We flew over...
Traffic, 8 o'clock, low, 1 mile.
Actually, let's look. Aaron, can you look out your window? 8 o'clock, we got somebody 500 feet below us.
Okay.
Tell me if you see them. They're inside a mile.
Oh.
How can we not see him?
Like I'm so bad at
Spotting traffic.
spotting traffic, yeah.
Let's keep that climb coming. We're descending now.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
November 8151 Whiskey, if you're monitoring this frequency, traffic 11 o'clock, 4 miles, same direction, 4,000, a Skyhawk.
We'll keep a lookout
And
for
lots of traffic here. Podcast audience, you can...
64892, overtaking traffic at your 5 o'clock, 4 miles, northwestbound, same direction, altitude indicates...
I'm glad we climbed, though.
I see him.
You see him?
Yeah.
November
Oh, he's going right under us.
Yeah, I see him.
Wow.
He made no adjustment whatsoever.
If we had climbed...
Let's settle.
336 Alpha Lima, radar contact, 20 miles
Traffic,
southeast
9 o'clock, 1 mile.
I'll have him now on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's passing
Indigo
now.
Golf, Light Sport, and it is 5-4 Juliet.
We hadn't climbed.
Alpha Lima, Roger.
We would have hit.
It would have been a different
What?
podcast.
It would have been the last podcast.
Jack Center,
There he is, I have him.
40 Juliet, 7,000.
Traffic, 4 o'clock.
Jack Center, 20 Yankee has overtaking traffic in sight.
What kind of plane is that? He's hauling ass.
Jack Center, the Taxi altimeter 3009.
It's a low wing.
3009,
Piper?
40 Juliet.
Oh, those are fast.
Oh, gosh. Well, he is faster than me, which is surprising. I don't know. Okay, so I have him inside. He's off, and we're now. He's no factor. Unless he turns, which we'll keep an eye out. We're 1,000 feet above him, and we got somebody else. We're passing that's 1,000 feet above us. Wow. Okay. All right, that's it. Well, you're saying you loved your aviation experience. We'll talk about our takeoff in the flight levels from our journey out, but this busyness is following us from our takeoff from Plant City, which is what you're referring to. We filed IFR because we had a broken ceiling above us at 2,700. Brian, take us through that takeoff and what we did.
Okay, I've got a guy way down here below us. Oh, that's him. We're not. He's 5,200 feet below.
There's somebody directly above us right now who is 1,000 feet.
I got him. Oh, it's the Aeroshell. Oh, dude.
Oh, it's an arrow?
We're in formation with the Aeroshell guy.
Oh, that's too cool. Okay, so there you have it, podcast. We're flying formation with the Aeroshell guy. Oh, I see him. Holy cow, that is so cool.
I hope this camera's picking it up.
Hold on, I've got to take a picture. So I want you to bank us hard left and go.
You mean right?
Yeah, hard left. Hard left.
Oh,
I'm low wing. There he is. Got it. Okay, now back on course. Now that we made Aaron sick in the back, we did a...
I mean, priorities, guys. Let's get the shot.
Yeah.
6763 for races.
Well, okay. So
Whatever.
I'll try to in the video for this podcast, I will try and include that picture.
And look at that, we're at 7,500 feet, 17.5 gallons per hour, 2,400. Everything's good.
Well, we want to go 2350. I had reached up a little bit because of that.
Say 9 Kilo Whiskey, checking in, level 8,000.
So we were leaving Plant City. You filed IFR. So did everybody else at Plant City.
Yeah.
In Tampa Bay, everything was backed up, so the releases were getting to be like 10, 15, 20 minutes. So we departed VFR.
The tower set, the temporary tower that's in a little...
It's very cute. It's on a trailer.
Like a casita.
Yeah. We departed VFR and then thought we'd pick up our clearance in the air.
And that wasn't happening.
Yeah, you called probably 9 times and they just kept swiping right. Just to ignore.
Yeah.
So now we managed to, after another 5 or 6 tries with Jacksonville, we finally got on flight following.
Yeah.
And now we're doing it.
And we're flying formation with Aerosail.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. And I wish our podcast audience could see that.
Well, I'll give you this video if you want.
I'm seeing him right there.
We'll see if this is 4K, but it's probably...
Yeah, there's no. Okay.
But you saw him when he was right on top of us. I could read the bottom of his wings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. That would have been...
They're probably just excited to see us. They're probably filming like, look, a Centurion.
That's exactly... Oh, which speaking of which, I show up at the FBO, drop off the car, get the plane, and they say, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, Just Plain Silly? You know, well, they did. But somebody had left a bag of stuff, and he said, yeah, it's for that Just Plain Silly guy. You know, and you know, because I was listed, I'm listed on the card, so I'll take that. But it was so cool that somebody... Who is it?
I don't know. Somebody who, I have no idea. So for a while we were receiving some strange things in the mail, some funny things in the mail. Not strange, it's not creepy, it's just, it's funny. And so I don't know if it was that person, but someone clearly found your tail number because there was a card that said 4620 Yankee, Brian and Aaron. And in the card...
Dan.
Oh, did it say Andy? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I stop reading when I see Brian.
Yeah, well, actually, it's Dan, Brian, and Aaron.
Oh, really?
Dan's listed first.
Oh, all right, well. So I see a card. It's your card, clearly. I opened it anyway. I like to open the people's mail. And there's a card in there that says, sorry we missed you, Oshkosh, ? Signed, nobody. So I don't know who it is. And I got this bag back here full of tea and gummy bears and treats. And I feel like it's someone who knows us because I drink those teas.
Well, they know you. There's no Diet Coke in there.
Oh, okay.
So, Aaron, give us a breakdown of the bag.
So, several bags of chips. Uh-oh.
And in the podcast...
One which has burst.
Oh, we're going to snack on that.
There you go. So, if you need some Lay's, we got them. Yeah, we got cookies, we got gummy worms, which I'm real into gummy candy. So, again, I don't know if that was a gas, but it's appreciated. Some teas, some cookies. And then they said there was something special at the bottom. And so the real... Oh, there's a third one.
But you know what? That means this thing was thought out well ahead of time. Because you're not going to just have 3 little elf on the shelves in the middle of March.
Right. So I think in the past couple years...
I think it's Dan.
Dan who?
You.
Oh, no. There'd be a Diet Coke in there.
Okay.
Clearly it's not mine.
So, yes, so there were 3, at least that's what I've found so far, little elves.
3 little elves.
Yes.
Interesting.
One for each of us, I guess.
All right,
Maybe
everyone gets an elf. You get an elf. You get an elf.
So,
Okay.
Yes, and a very sweet card. So it's sweet, but I will say slightly creepy. Like just...
It's not creepy. Keep it coming. But I do want to know who you are. I feel like I can't thank somebody. Like I got shirts. I've got so much stuff, and I'm grateful. But it's this mystery person, and I'm like I feel like I don't know who to thank. So thank you.
And for those listening, we are still constantly just looking outside for traffic.
Yeah, I'm looking for more air shows to join up.
Yeah, and so, Brian, take us through the departure out to Sun and Fun. You had never been over 4,000 feet.
It's actually 4 feet. I've never been over 400 feet, man. I don't know where you're getting this 4,000 crap.
No, it's 11,005, right?
11.5. I feel over about 8,000 or 9,000 feet. I feel like I've been invited to one of my wife's company parties, and I don't know anybody. A little anxious. But I'll tell you what. In the Grumman, it used to really creep me out. In the Comanche, it's all mental, right? I always have this
some physiology.
Sure, but I feel like I'm in a canoe in the middle of the ocean. Like it's like this is not where I belong. This is a very beefy plane, and I don't have that sense as bad. I mean, this plane gives me a little bit creepy looking out here because there's no wing under me. Like if I look out this window, I get my heart rate goes up. I'm just looking over the dash. Like literally, this is like looking out the edge of a tall building. I can't do that. She took me up in used to be the Willis Center and had me stand on that glass balcony. I could have a heart attack right there. I told the cameraman, you get just enough time to snap the photo. I'm standing on that, and then I'm jumping back
Well,
off.
I didn't realize at Sun and Fun, Dean Syracuse at Flying Ice.
Oh, gosh.
He's got a scissor lift, and I use scissor lifts in work for setting time-lapse cameras and stuff like that all the time. Actually have an OSHA card for operating them and everything. So you and I go up there, and I didn't think anything of it. And I go to the very top, and you're quiet and everything else, and we come down. And then I find out how deathly afraid you were, and I wish I'd known because I would have rocked that sucker like you wouldn't believe.
I don't like buildings. I don't like ladders. Every once in a while, I'll put Christmas lights on the roof, but
They're giving unable to fly following right now.
Well, look at it. It's like a wasp nest.
Yeah.
And anyone else check on?
Okay, but anyway.
But so yeah, on the scissor lift I was okay, but it was very windy. So I don't mind being up there. But again, the same thing. I'm not looking over the edge and looking down. I'm looking out and getting some, I think, really pretty B-roll of the grounds. But as long as I'm focused on my task at hand, looking through this camera lens and filming, I'm okay. It's when I put it down and go, oh, this is shaking. It's windy. You know, that's when I'm like, okay.
But to me, that was one of the coolest parts
yeah,
of
so,
Sun and Fun.
So it was a two-person lift, so Brian exited, and Aaron got to come on. Aaron, tell us about, we got to see...
We watched the Blue Angels up there.
We watched Blue Angels up there.
And we did. We had the best seat in the house, because, I mean, we were just constantly on a swivel, and they were going straight overhead.
Yeah.
Being that high up, it was really cool. And I'm not, you know, as much of a plane person as probably most of the people there, but that was really cool to see it have that good a view. And it did. The thing did shake a little bit, but it wasn't too bad.
And so we're all over the place on this podcast. We were talking about before we talked about scissor lift and heights. So on the trip out, we went to flight level 210 in my Centurion.
That's right.
And we've got an onboard oxygen system where we have to use masks above 18. Cannulas below we can. But you also had just bought a new system from Mountain High that helps regulate, because we were 3 people flying at flight level 210. We were sucking the oxygen down in 3 hours, so I was a little bit worried about that. So I invested in a supplemental system, and it went from 1,700 PSI down to 11 PSI, which was great. It actually worked pretty good, so I'm very impressed. So now you actually loved the fact that we flew at 250 miles an hour over the ground.
So that's the thing. So like a lot of pilots are afraid of heights. I'm afraid of heights, but we do it. Because I fly, I'm pretty good at getting over those discomforts to some extent. Like, I'm so excited now about the prospect of getting a 65 knot tailwind, which doesn't happen at 3,500 feet unless you're in a storm. So I'm looking now at potentially seeing if I can get some portable oxygen for me, so that when I go to Oshkosh, maybe I can find a 30, 40, 50 knot tailwind, because that was the coolest thing, was like, okay, we're high, but there's a reason we are hauling.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. And now we're just the opposite.
And now we're going to be going home in a headwind. And I'm going to close the podcast now, because we are just crossing the shoreline. We're cutting a very narrow corner of the Florida Gulf Coast here. So we're going to be over water, but always within gliding distance. But now I'm going to go into hyperfocus. And so we're going to end the podcast here. Check it out, whether it's on all your favorite podcast deals, or I'm now starting to upload them to YouTube podcast section of the YouTube channel. So check it out there. And also don't forget to check out and subscribe to Brian's Just Plain Silly. So with that, we'll say our goodbyes, and we're going to focus on flying. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having us, Dan.